Welcome to Intro to React Native Core Components and Native Components. So we're going to look at React Native. React Native is an open source framework, and this framework allows us to write apps interface using JavaScript while accessing into the native capability of both Android and iOS platforms. What we mean by that is that you can create applications that run on multiple platforms with a single code base while maintaining a pretty good level of performance and user experience. So React Native, what it does is traditionally mobile development was exclusive to its specific framework tools provided by the ecosystem. But now with React Native, it opens up the mobile development to a wider range of developers, especially those who are already familiar with JavaScript and React. Understanding views in mobile development. So this is something that is different from regular React that is based on web. The concept of views is very important. So a view is essentially a UI element. It's like a button, image, or text fields. And these elements are the building blocks of app's interface. So it allows us to display content and respond to user input. So in traditional development, these views are specific to each platform. So you have Android view, iOS view. But what React Native does is that React Native abstracts these into a unified set of components, thereby making the development process more efficient and streamlined. Native components in React Native. So in React Native, we use what are called native components. So these native components are not generic HTML elements, but are closely tied to the native counterparts. So what happens is when you write a component in React Native, it gets translated into the native view equivalent for the specific platform. So we talked about views. So if I were to use that view component as an example in React Native, that corresponds to a view group in Android or a UI view in iOS. This translation kind of ensures that the React Native app keeps the look, feel, and performance of a native app, which is a basically game changer in cross-platform development. React Native core components overview. So React Native provides developers with a suite of core components, which are the essential elements you will have to use to build the app's interface. These components are the high-level building blocks, and they are designed to be cross-platform, means that these components will render appropriately, whether on Android or iOS. So for this lecture, we will focus on some of the commonly used core components that will be view, text, image, scroll view, and text input. And each of them serve a distinct purpose in the app's UI, from laying out the interface to capturing user input. Detailed core components. So if we look into core components, we can see view, text, image, scroll view, text input, and a view component is, you can think of that as a container. It's what you would normally use to organize and lay out other components. Text is straightforward. It's how you would display any text content, and the image component is for rendering images, while a scroll view gives you a scrollable container. So it allows you to place a considerable amount of content within a limited space. Lastly, text input is text input component provides a way for users to enter text. Creating custom native components. So this is one of the powerful features of React Native. You can extend its capability by creating your own native components. So if you have the core component that does not meet your need, you can build custom components that that utilizes the native APIs of Android and iOS. This is really useful for creating highly customized experiences, or for integrating platform-specific functionalities. And you will, as you learn more about React Native, you will learn more about different custom components that are created by community. Integrating React components with React Native. So the core components are basically a subset of React's components. So you can, if you are already familiar with React, you can see that a lot of concepts and practices carry over to React Native. And for those new to React, it is important to understand how components work, how they manage state, and how they handle user interactions, as they are key to developing apps with React Native. That's everything for this lecture. Thank you for listening.